Hey there, Caddo middle school math teachers. Roger Vance here for the official unveiling of our transition to Illustrative Mathematics for the 2018-19 school year. Most of you have already heard about this. Many of you have taught lessons from this material already, but we just want to make sure we're all on the same page moving forward, thus the creation of this video. This will be a real short video. There is also a Google form that came to you in the email with this video. I hope you'll go back and provide any input that you'd like there. We want to make sure that we've covered all bases and don't want to overlook anything that might create difficulties in this transition. We want this to be seamless for you and for your students, and we want it to be a very successful thing that leads to great things for our kids in the future. So what is it? If you're not sure about Illustrative Mathematics, these tasks have been around for a while. Many of you have used them in your teaching. They've been linked in our scope and sequence for the past 3 years. And then during most of that time, Dr. Bill McCullum began developing for Illustrative Mathematics a complete curriculum for grades 6 through 8. So no longer just Illustrative Mathematics tasks, but now an entire Illustrative Mathematics curriculum for grades 6 through 8. Then during the 16-17 school year, there were 175 teachers from 6 school districts involved in an intensive year-long beta release. So this is very recent. Revisions were made quickly, and actually the materials were available for this school year, 2017-18. We didn't know about that, but we found out shortly after the school year had started. And then not too far into the school year, the Louisiana Department of Education approved Illustrative Mathematics as a Tier 1 resource. Then you also notice at the top of the screen here the logo for Open Up Resources. That's the educational nonprofit group that partnered with Illustrative Mathematics to sort of package the material. They sell print materials if you don't want to print them yourselves, and they also provide professional development, which we'll talk about in just a moment. You know, it's been a requirement of the Louisiana Department of Education that we use what they have determined to be Tier 1 curriculum resources. As I mentioned a minute ago, Illustrative Mathematics has received that rating. It's actually not on the state website as of the creation of this video, but we have in writing from the State Department that it has been approved and highly regarded by the State Department of Education. So that provides us assurances for alignment to standards, assessment, rigor, and all the other components that go into making up math education in Louisiana. We're also very pleased with the ease of implementation related to Illustrative Mathematics. There are online and print resources. The total alignment will allow us to follow the curriculum exclusively with no need for supplements. Built-in remediation guidance. Prior grade standards are listed at the beginning of each lesson along with the standards addressed in that lesson, and even goes beyond to show you the standards to which you're leading in the particular lesson that you're on. But we're really excited about those prior grade standards. We're going to continue to incorporate those in our scope and sequence as we did this spring, but having those there at the top of your lesson plan is a great way for you to keep your eyes on the bigger picture as you go down deeper into the weeds each day with your instruction, very specific instruction. We're also pleased with the family resources that go along with Illustrative Mathematics. Students will have a consumable workbook, one for each unit, and you'll have teaching material. The online resources will be available to parents and students, but these family resources are another component that we're pleased with. We're going to be talking to you about the best ways that we can help you package this and get it home to your parents. A lot of other resources and things that are available, assessment resources, problem sets, and things that make instruction go a little bit easier for you in the planning and implementation phases. And so we're really excited to have this as our curriculum, not only something that's easy to use, but something that's well aligned to the State Department of Education in Louisiana, our assessment, and our standards. You also need to know that in January of this year, we added these to the scope and sequence. I think most of you already know that. That was in grades 6 through 8. We also added these to the remediation column in our algebra and geometry classes, a scope and sequence document. So I've heard from a lot of middle school math teachers who have taught these lessons already. I'm going to be getting out the word more to the high school teachers as the spring goes along and see if they can teach some of these lessons in a remediation format as needed and provide feedback there. But I continue to look forward to any feedback you have, particularly any concerns and red flags that you might have, because you know, if we get all positive, that's great, but we want to do our best to foresee any potential struggles that we might have in transitioning to this material. You also received an email in early January with all that information with the links and so forth. And as of this video, which is early March, I know of at least 12 Caddo Middle School teachers who have taught directly from these lessons, and almost all the feedback has been extremely positive and enthusiastic. Heard a little bit of negative, and like I said, I'm thankful to hear that because I want us to be able to be totally prepared and not be surprised by anything as we move into the 2018-19 school year. So let's talk a little bit about how this is going to roll out. First of all, I want to remind you the material is available to you right now. It's available through the links. Now you do have to register at their website, which is linked here on this page, on this screen. Basically, when you go there, it's going to give you a little drop down to select a grade level. Once you select a grade level, the first time you've gone to the site, it's going to take you to the registration page, login/registration. The only catch there is that you have to have your Caddo email. That's their only level of security there, is that they try to verify that you're a teacher through your email. They want it to be a school system related email. So you won't be able to use your personal Gmail or whatever other personal email accounts you have to register. But it is free registration. It's pretty short and simple. Once you've done that, you'll actually be able to log into the site and explore these resources at your leisure. We are working to have the print materials delivered before the end of the school year. We're just not sure if that's going to be able to happen at this point. It's always a struggle in Caddo because we are a large district, and these companies don't tend to deal with districts this large as often as they deal with smaller districts. So it's just a lot more logistical process to make it all happen. But we're going to do our best to make that happen. Again, in the meantime, I hope you'll access the online resources, and we'll do our best at least to have teacher material in your hands for the summer training sessions that I'll point out in just a moment. Also know we plan to revise our scope and sequence documents to match the new material. As I mentioned before, we don't anticipate having to change the order of the illustrative math units. There are 9 per grade level, but it's not 100% guaranteed. We just are going to do our best to maintain the order of those units. I know that was a bit of a struggle with our Go Math material this past year, and we're going to do our best to avoid that situation in the coming years. So now I mentioned the teacher training. We have initial teacher training set up for the summer. The training consists of a 2-day workshop. So we're asking you to do your best to fit this in your calendar and attend one of these 2-day workshops. There are 2 opportunities. Based on your feedback, those of you who completed the Google form that was sent out in January, these were the dates that were determined to be the most accessible to the most number of our Caddo middle school teachers. June 4th and 5th, that's pretty soon after we get out for our summer break at Huntington High School. And then in July 25th and 26th, I believe that's a Wednesday and Thursday at Captain Sharif High School. Many of you have said that you really want to attend the training in June. However, I know a lot of people have other obligations in June. Some people involved in summer school, summer mediation, things like that. So we will have a July date. And again, in the meantime, I want to emphasize that you have the ability to review this material on your own online through their website. The other parts of the timeline here, February 27th, we met with Academic Affairs, Mr. Burton, and the directors, and we laid all this out in front of them. In March, we are currently, as I make this video, planning for principals meetings, assistant principals meetings, so that they can have all this information and get their questions answered and start planning accordingly. This video is coming out in March, so hopefully you're receiving this video on March 5th. If not, that meant I got hung up on something and didn't get it out in time. The other thing, though, in March is we're going to start work between our IT department and Open Up Resources IT and get those people communicating to make sure that if there are any issues surrounding the digital components of illustrative mathematics, that we get those wrapped up early, and also we're going to develop a contact person for us if there are any ongoing concerns with the platform, the digital platform at their website, so that we can take care of any issues that arise as quickly as possible. In April, we're going to ask our school administrators to discuss these changes with you at a faculty meeting, and just to, they probably will already have done that to some degree, but we want to just do everything we can to make sure we're all on the same page moving forward. Also in April, we're going to mobilize you, some of you teachers who want to help with this. Anyone is going to be welcome. It does say task force members, but just anybody who wants to be a part of this process is welcome to develop and finalize our scope and sequence documents. Most of you have expressed extreme satisfaction with the format of our scope and sequence, so we don't have any plans at this point to change the format. It's just going to be a matter of going in and replacing the Go Math material with the Illustrative Mathematics material. One more time, the not having to change the sequence of things or the pacing is going to really help us out a lot so that it won't be a very complicated process. In May, by May 11th or sooner, we hope to have those scope and sequence documents finalized and released to teachers. Of course, when I say finalized, I kind of see our scope and sequence documents as never being finalized, always a work in progress. You know that when you go to those documents in Google Docs, you always have the ability to leave comments. I always welcome your comments and try to make adjustments accordingly. As I mentioned already, we have June and July training. Please, again, check your calendars and do your best to attend one of those dates, either June 4th, 5th, or July 25th, 26th. Those will be perhaps the only trainings that we have led by the Open Up Resources staff. So these are pretty important. It's really going to be good to hear from these people who, many I'm told, have taught from this material, and now they are working as trainers for Illustrative Mathematics and Open Up Resources. And then finally in August, we know, I always have this question, that if there are late hires, you may know of someone who's moving into town and planning to teach at your school. We will not leave them hanging, and if it means that I have to go out individually and sit down with those teachers, we'll do that. But we're going to try to also incorporate some sort of after-school or Saturday training in August to help those people. Would rather everyone be at the summer training, but again, I know we have some late hires that just happen every year, and we'll try to accommodate that. So there you have it. That's our new curriculum material coming for the year 2018-19, Illustrative Mathematics, under the heading of Open Up Resources. Again, here's the website on the screen. Please contact me with any concerns at all. I value your input more than some of you realize, and I always need, in order to make the best possible decisions, I need your input. Particularly concerns, red flags, anything you see that might be a question in your mind. Let's not go into this with any questions left open. Let's get together, let's talk it out, and make this a great transition that ends up being a huge benefit to our Caddo kids. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget about the Google form that was attached to the email with this video, and I look forward to hearing from you and seeing you soon.